College Football Hall of Fame, I love the College Football Hall of Fame. As a museum, whenever I'm back in Atlanta, like I will make it a point to get to that building. One, because they do a great job with the museum itself. Two, it's just a cool experience as a fan to go in and see the hype video and see the exhibits and see the trophies. Like, I love the College Football Hall of Fame, but they are absolutely swinging and whiffing on this whole Mike Leach situation. So Mike Leach, rest in peace, is not eligible for the Hall of Fame. But I'm telling you right now, he will be in the College Football Hall of Fame. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, there is currently a rule to be eligible for the Hall of Fame as a head coach. Your career winning percentage has to be at 60%. Now, Mike Leach took over some situations that weren't necessarily ready-made to win, but even with that being the case, he flipped them around and has a career winning percentage of 59.6%. He is one win away from being at 60%. And the Hall of Fame is saying, nope, sorry, can't do that. Can't let you in, Mike. What are we doing here? Again, I'm telling you, even though this is the way it looks right now, Mike Leach will be in the College Football Hall of Fame. And the first reason being, it makes zero sense to begin with. Like, I looked high and low to find a explicit mission statement from the Hall of Fame and the National Football Foundation. You saw a lot of different things, but the overarching sentiment was this exists, this being the Hall of Fame, to honor the greatest the game has seen. To honor the people that have helped shape this sport. Y'all, Mike Leach is one of the founding fathers of the air raid offense. You turn on a game any other Saturday, you will see the air raid offense or a version of the air raid offense being played. Like right now, it's the pace and space, spread up tempo, make you defend the entire field, make you defend, every sideline to sideline rather, that Mississippi State's going to run, that Oklahoma has run with Jeff Lebby in the past, that Josh Heupel's running. Like, this is something that's prevalent to college football. So in terms of impact and someone that's left their mark on the sport, Mike Leach is one of the greatest and checks that box with flying colors. Another thing why I believe this is going to be a matter of when, not if, Mike Leach becomes a Hall of Famer. Let's not act like these rules around the Hall of Fame are somehow written on stone tablets coming down from Mount Sinai. Like, we change rules when they don't make sense. When the circumstances present themselves that maybe give us a better reason or a better path forward than the rules would allow for, we adapt. We evolve. It's what society has always done. Like, NIL is a great example. There was a point in time where players are sitting there and saying, listen, like, they're worth a lot more than whatever they're being given on a scholarship. Common sense prevailed there. NIL is now a reality. 20 years ago, they would have taken away in handcuffs. Like, what are we doing here? Throughout history, we've changed. This is another situation where common sense is going to prevail, and we're going to change. We're going to change the Hall of Fame rules, or something's going to change here that's going to allow Mike Leach to be in the Hall of Fame because it's common sense. And the big reason for this, too, I think this is probably the most convincing case I could make for why Mike Leach will be in the Hall of Fame. Remember Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back? Why did that happen? Yes, because NIL became a reality and it became too obvious, too blatant of a common sense issue. But the big catalyst was Johnny Manziel speaking out and saying, hey, Heisman, appreciate y'all, but I'm going to go hang out at home. We're not going to be at the Heisman Trophy ceremony until you give Reggie Bush his Heisman back, and being vocal about that. Tell you what, too, Johnny Manziel would not have been the last one to do that. He would have been joined by, I believe, a handful of others, and it would have started to gain some momentum, and then the Heisman looks bad. Same thing is sort of starting to happen around this whole conversation with Mike Leach in the Hall of Fame. Like, Lincoln Riley's going on Twitter and saying it's ridiculous he's not in the Hall of Fame. Bob Stutz on Twitter saying he should be in the Hall of Fame. So people with influence, not just people like me behind a microphone, people that are actually head coaches in the sport and will be up for the Hall of Fame or in the Hall of Fame, are starting to say, hey, this is ridiculous, this makes no sense. That's embarrassing for the Hall of Fame. I promise you, man, I don't care what age you are or how macho you believe you are, you don't grow out of being embarrassed. And the Hall of Fame right now is being embarrassed. And so to save some face here, I think it's a matter of time before they pivot and they say, you know what, hand up, we were wrong, which we always appreciate when people do that. We were wrong. Mike Leach, you're in the Hoff. That's going to happen. That is going to happen. So again, if the point is to honor the greatest, if the point is to try and remember the greatest that has ever been a part of the sport, Mike Leach checks that box. And I think this is one of the many benefits of the social media era in college football. It has a lot of drawbacks for sure, but the fact that everyone can have a voice, especially those with major influence like college football head coaches or previous head coaches can have a voice, make their 2 cents known. The mob mentality here, I think, is going to help get Mike Leach in the Hall of Fame. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.